So, what is a biosphere and why UNESCO has been choosing Isle of Man to do a biosphere?
First Mai, good afternoon. So, UNESCO Biosphere Reserves are one of UNESCO's designations, and the Isle of Man was recognised in 2016 as a biosphere reserve. It's an entire nation biosphere reserve, which means it's the only one in the world, and that makes it a very unique USP for the island in my eyes. It's predominantly an environmental project. It means that we have a very special environment landscape, but it's also extremely linked into culture and heritage and the things that make the island what it is, things that we need to protect. And so it's a designation that means that we all want to work together to kind of preserve and keep the special things that we have, but to also grow and become more sustainable in the way that we do things. Biospheres are very, they're often described as learning beds for sustainable development. And so it's kind of exploring methods and the best ways in which to do things as communities in order to have a really good functioning kind of nation, I suppose. It's not one thing. There's a lot of moving parts to it, and so the interconnectedness is very important. The social side of things is very important. Community is huge, education, etc. So, yeah, there's many parts of being a biosphere, but in a nutshell, it means that it's been recognised as somewhere very special.
The internet revolution was to link all the people together, and I heard you want to link all living things together. How can you link a cow and a human being?
Yeah, so I think in some respects it's about recognizing that people are nature and are part of nature, not people and nature. It's that we are all sharing the same space. How can we best kind of manage our land, manage the way that we do things so that we're not compromising the fate of nature or kind of, really dominating as a human species, I suppose. Sarah might have something to add because she works directly in sustainability and, nature initiatives and things like that. So I don't know if you want to add anything.
Of course. I think exactly what Brisha was saying is that understanding that we are all one, we are all connected, and that interconnectedness between all living things and the landscape that we live in is that really important part. Education is a huge part of that, but also going back to our roots. We're standing here at Lorient in the Inter-Celtic Festival, going back to our Celtic roots and whatever roots you might have in your countries, and understanding that we have had this connection with our landscape, with our culture, with the rest of our communities, and to some extent relearning what we have had previously. And figuring out how we can live in the modern day with that.
The American poet Gary Snyder, who was a friend of the Jack Kerouac, wrote in the 1960s that we need to elect some MPs, deputies, or congressmen. For the rivers, for the forests, for the mountains, nature. He wrote that nature needs to be represented, have some kind of congress. What do you think about this idea? Could you do it in Isle of Man?
I think we absolutely should do it in the Isle of Man. Something that we do in the company that I work for is that nature is a part of the board, so it has a voice. The decision making is made by people and the rest of nature as well. So it guides, all of those things. And I think it would be great to tie that into the oldest parliament in the world.
A nice place to try this.
Yes, and just to add, what we've seen tonight, this afternoon, it's all very much what we are exploring as well in our biosphere, because we have our language, our Manx language, Manx Gaelic. We nearly lost our language at one point, but there's a really positive revival, and the connection between language and land, and I'm hugely into eco-linguistics because it was mentioned this afternoon that if you understand and know why something is called something, it further kind of it links you to the land, your sense of place is strengthened, your sense of belonging, and then the further need and want to protect is stronger too. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm a Manx speaker, and it's very close to my heart, and I would love to see the language growing, and nature is a part of that, because we were always living alongside nature, and we always used to do things for nature first.
One last question. The Breton musician Alan Stivell mentioned a few months ago that the link between the Celtic countries is the geography, because we are all exposed to the Atlantic Ocean, and there is a similar geography, highlands or presqu'île. And west wind, whatever, coastal, granitic coast and everything. Do you feel also there is a link by the geography we have between Brittany, Ireland, Scotland, and Isle of Man?
Yeah, I'd love to do more exploring of more of those places, but yes, absolutely, there is a link in the geography. You know, a lot of us, we have the West Coast, we have the access to all of that. Why do you think we're a wild people? Because we have wild weather and wild landscapes.
Yes.
Thank you very much.